Welcome everyone to Just Recaps. Today I will take you on a captivating and enchanting journey as we delve into the mesmerizing tale of adventure and fantasy from the 1984 film The NeverEnding Story. But beware, there are thrilling spoilers lurking ahead, so proceed with caution and immerse yourself in the magic. Our story begins with Bastian Balthazar Bucks, a young boy of merely 10 years old, preparing for another day at school. One morning, in a tense exchange with his father, Bastian reveals that he had a dream about his late mother, who tragically succumbed to illness. His father, still grieving, merely acknowledges that it seems Bastian's mind has wandered and mentions receiving a letter from Bastian's teacher, expressing concern about his penchant for doodling horses in his math book. With a touch of annoyance, Bastian whispers unicorns under his breath. However, his father continues, noting that Bastian did not try out for the swim team. Undeterred, Bastian explains his preference for horseback riding lessons, only to be met with his father's response that he is far too terrified to even consider owning a horse, let alone riding one. His father bids him farewell as he heads off to work, advising Bastian to keep his feet on the ground and pay closer attention in class. After leaving for school, Bastian's journey takes an unfortunate turn as he crosses paths with a group of school bullies who demand his money. When Bastian refuses to comply, they toss him unceremoniously into a dumpster. Luckily, he manages to escape, but his respite is short-lived as he encounters the bullies once again, hot on his heels. Desperate to elude his pursuers, Bastian seeks refuge in an abandoned bookstore. It is here that he encounters Mr. Carl Conrad Coriander, a gruff and skeptical man who initially dismisses Bastian as a mere youngster interested only in video games and comic novels. However, Bastian surprises him by listing the substantial collection of real books he has devoured, including literary treasures such as The Lord of the Rings and Treasure Island. Intrigued by Bastian's reading choices, Coriander engages him in conversation, eventually uncovering the fact that the young boy is seeking sanctuary from the relentless bullies. When asked why he doesn't stand up for himself, Bastian merely shrugs, seemingly resigned to his fate. However, his attention is soon drawn to the book that Coriander is engrossed in. Sensing Bastian's curiosity, Coriander explains that it is a one-of-a-kind and perilous tome, unlike the safe literature Bastian is accustomed to reading. The stage is set for Bastian's adventure to take an extraordinary turn. Stay tuned to discover the mysteries and dangers that await as we continue to unravel the never-ending story. While reading, he alludes to the fact that a reader may become so engrossed in the story that he or she believes they are actually experiencing it, but they can always return to reality by putting the book down. Before returning to his duties, Mr. Coriander informs Bastian that the book is not intended for him and places it on the table. However, Bastian takes The Never-Ending Story and leaves a note for Coriander stating that he will return the book later. Bastian realizes he is late for school after leaving the bookstore, and upon arriving at his school, he sees that his classmates are taking an exam. Instead of joining them, he ascends to the attic of the school in quest of solitude. Finding the ideal spot for reading the book, he settles in and begins to read. The tale commences with two creatures named Nighthawk and Teeny Weeny taking a break in a dim forested area. Suddenly, a thunderous crash reverberates through the air, and a colossal rock biter riding a rock cycle appears. He informs Nighthawk and Teeny Weeny about an unimaginable power that is wreaking havoc on his homeland in the north. Both Nighthawk and Teeny Weeny share their own encounters with this enigmatic nothing in different parts of Fantasia. The conversation then shifts to how each of them has been sent by their respective nations to reach the childlike Empress. Together, the trio embarks on a journey to the Ivory Tower, where the Empress of Fantasia resides. Upon arrival, they find themselves in a structure, and Nighthawk makes his way to the main floor. There, a man named Chiron addresses a crowd of people seeking answers. Chiron discloses that the Empress is unwell, and speculates that the nothing, the force responsible for the turmoil, might be the cause. It is at this point that they decide to summon a renowned warrior from the Plains people named Atreyu, as he is believed to possess the key to preserving their world. Atreyu steps forward, surprising Chiron and the audience by revealing himself as a young child. However, Chiron expresses doubt, insisting that they summoned Atreyu the warrior and not Atreyu the child. Undeterred, Atreyu confidently affirms that he is indeed the only person with that name and bravely accepts the mission entrusted to him by the Empress. Meanwhile, Chiron discloses the Empress's wish. Atreyu must find a cure for her and save their world from the menacing nothing. To aid him on his journey, Atreyu is bestowed with the Orin, a medallion consisting of two intertwined snakes that will guide and protect him. Mounted on his loyal horse Artax, Atreyu embarks on a quest across the vast realm of Fantasia. Unbeknownst to him, a wolf-like creature emerges from another realm within the kingdom and gives chase. As Atreyu and Artax explore various locations in search of a remedy for the Empress, they come up empty-handed. Eventually, they decide to venture into the swamps of sadness to seek counsel from the ancient Morla. While traversing the treacherous marshes, Artax succumbs to the lingering melancholy of the region, halting in his tracks and sinking into the mire. Much to the dismay of Atreyu and Bastian, despite Atreyu's efforts to uplift his faithful companion, the horse is swallowed by the swamp. As a result of this tragic event, Atreyu continues his journey alone and swiftly discovers a massive mound. Approaching the mound, Atreyu witnesses a sudden ascent as it unveils itself to be Morla, an immense turtle. Reading the description, Bastian exclaims in astonishment, capturing the attention of both Atreyu and Morla. Having spent extensive time in solitude, Morla has developed a habit of speaking to himself, using the pronoun we instead of I. Morla discloses to Atreyu that he is unable to save the Empress and advises him to seek out the Southern Oracle instead. However, upon learning that the Oracle resides a daunting 10,000 miles away, Atreyu's spirits begin to dwindle. Nevertheless, he resolves to embrace this challenge and discover the cure for the Empress. Plodding through the damp marshes, Atreyu becomes overwhelmed with melancholy, sinking deeper as the wolf-like creature edges closer. Suddenly, a torrential downpour unleashes from the sky, and a graceful figure descends to snatch Atreyu from the clutches of the swamp just as the wolf-like creature lunges forward. Following this, Atreyu awakens to find himself purified and in the company of the white luck dragon Falkor. Falkor explains that in his dream, Atreyu revealed his name and mission. On his 10,000-mile journey, Falkor has brought him 9,891 miles closer to the Southern Oracle during this time. At this location, Atreyu is introduced to Engiwook and Urgel in an adjacent shack. Atreyu is informed by Engiwook, who has been observing the Southern Oracle with a telescope for some time, of the two portals that will lead him to the Oracle. The initial entrance consists of two enormous Sphinx statues, and Atreyu discovers that any man who believes in his worth is permitted to enter, whereas the Sphinxes assess and destroy anyone who approaches them with even the slightest doubt. A mounted rider endeavors to pass the Sphinx while Atreyu observes the entire scene, but is killed by fire beams shot from its eyes. Atreyu nevertheless steps outside to prove his worthiness, but is horrified upon seeing the rider's corpse. Now, as the Sphinx's eyes begin to open, Atreyu dodges forward, narrowly evading the beams, and eventually makes it through. Engiwook is ecstatic that Atreyu has passed it, but he advises the others that he must now traverse the magic mirror gate, a massive reflective gateway that reveals one's true nature. Therefore, as Atreyu travels from the first to the second gate, he traverses a frigid landscape until he reaches the mirror gate. A young boy is found sitting in a room and perusing a book to his astonishment. Unexpectedly, this young boy's name is Bastian, and as he reads this, he becomes terrified and throws away the book. However, following a brief period of reflection on the situation, he resumes reading. Atreyu is able to pass through the mirror gate and encounters the Southern Oracle, a sphinx-like being with wings, as the plot proceeds. A voice suddenly emanates from it and describes how the childlike Empress could be saved. The voice states that she must be renamed. Atreyu is confident that he can accomplish this, but the Oracle warns him that it can only be done by a human child who lives beyond the borders of Fantasia. As the facade of Fantasia begins to crumble, a voice urges Atreyu to act swiftly. Following this, Atreyu returns to Falkor, and they set out in search of Fantasia's borders. As they confront the Nothing, he is thrown from Falkor's back. After a period of time, he awakens on an unidentified shore and realizes he has lost the Aeurin pendant from his neck. Atreyu explores the wilderness while he is alone until he encounters the Rockbiter, who laments that the Nothing stole his companions Nighthob and Teeny Weeny. He regrets his inability to defend them and now anticipates that they will meet the same fate. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.